Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at the Rapier. It's a weapon I am horrible with, something I really want to get better at because it's a lot of fun to use. And it's very high skill, I would say. It's a nice skill curve to it because there's a lot of things to do to play it efficiently. You need to be doing combos correct, you need to get your bleeds off correct, you need to unlock passives correct. It's a lot. At the same time, the way I want to play it, I'm going to be pairing it with a fire staff, which is my last video that I posted. This one's going to be definitely more DPS oriented, of course, because that's kind of what the Rapier is. I'm going to be doing a full intelligence build if I do this route. It pairs secondary to intelligence, which is good, so you're still getting pretty good weapon damage upgrades. Overall, though, it is a DPS build. It is very simple tree, and let's just jump into it right now, and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. All right, we're on worldforts.gg. Again, this one's really easy for me, especially because I want to go straight DPS, and you really need all of these if you want to utilize the blood tree. The grace tree is also really good, and you'll most likely want to use all of those if you want to play a more defensive role with the Rapier. Blood tree is heavily focused on bleeds, and we'll be going through each of the perks first and then into the passives and on how all that kind of correlates and stacks together. It's really cool tree, and I think it's going to be really fun to play with. So the first one we're going to look at is Tondo. Tondo is a slash so quickly that it extends the reach of your blade. The strike deals direct damage, but also applies a bleed that will deal 100% weapon damage over 12-second period. This can stack up to 3 times, refreshing previous applications. So if you can get this cooled down enough, you can just keep doing Tondo over and over, and then it'll stack on that, which is really cool and very powerful. Going into the next perk is Thirst for Blood. When applying the first bleed stack to an opponent, this cooldown is reduced by 10%. So really nice. Again, cooldowns are going to be pretty prevalent to getting the stacks. And then again, that's the name of it. If you hit any target, even on a blocked hit, reduce Tondo's cooldown again by 25%. That's pretty huge. And then the last one is Proper Spacing. Increase the damage of Tondo by 100% if you are at least 4 meters away from the target. So again, we don't really have a justification on how far the total distance you can have for that extended blade, but at least 4 meters. Going into the next one is Fluorescent Finish. Flourish performs an attack knocking back enemies. Pressing light attack, which is left click at the end of Flourish, will continue this ability by automatically performing Finish. Finish lunges forward, consuming all rapier bleeds on any target, dealing 110% of their damage immediately. The next one to that tree is with Flare. Gain grit on both Flourish and Finish, which means you won't be interrupted at all, so you can be getting hit and it'll still work. Swagger is the next one, which you just gain 20% stamina when successfully hitting a target with Finish, so that's kind of nice. It's nothing major, but it's nice. Fuel, each tick of damage from Tondo's bleed specifically, reduces the cooldown of Fluorescent Finish by 3.5%. So again, this is huge. Even if there was, I think, 1 second left on Tondo for the bleed, you'll get that 110% weapon damage. Now, in this case, if that has, out of 12 seconds, let's say 10 seconds, and you were able to perform this right away, and maybe it takes only a couple seconds to do, you would be maybe effectively getting 35% of this cooldown right away. That'd be really cool. Again, it's just basing it off of how many seconds left of damage or on that bleed. So only from Tondo. And the only way to get Bloody End is literally going through all of Flourish and Finish, plus having 10 points in this tree. Finish deals 150% of bleed damage instead of the 110, which is pretty cool. So it really effectively works with Flourish and Finish. The last one I want to get is Flurry. Flurry is an opposed stance that unleashes a series of 5 quick thrust attacks, with each strike dealing more damage. Fury can be dodge canceled at any time. We don't know the damage right out of the gate. I think it'll just scale up. But that's pretty cool. It can be dodge canceled at any time. Overwhelms the next perk in that tree. With each hit of Flurry, you'll get 25% more of block damage, so that's kind of cool. All right, next one is Fleeting Strikes. With each hit of Flurry, it reduces the cooldown by 7% of Flurry, which is kind of cool. To the Bone, each hit of Flurry extends bleeds by a second, which is really nice. It applies to future stacked applications of the same bleed, extending the entire stack. I don't know what the spelling is on here. There's a lot of errors on this a lot. It's kind of interesting. But I digress. The last one is Finalize. Finalize gives you the last hit of a Flurry. It causes the enemy to be staggered. So that's kind of nice. And now we go into the passives. Like I said, the passives are going to be very correlated to the tree itself instead of like what we've done in the past and kind of gone around and mixed some stuff together. We'll first start with Refreshing Strikes. It reduces all cooldowns by 1% on any hit. Next one's On Guard. Deal 10% more damage when your target has greater than 50% health. Basic one. Annealing deals 5% more damage to targets with a Rapier bleed. Clearly that's pretty easy to get. Heavy Puncture. Any heavy attack on a bleeding enemy will extend their Rapier bleeds by 2 seconds. So that's really good. You can get bleeds on stuff and then start doing heavy attacks. Also apply to future stacked applications of the same bleed. So you can extend that entire stack by a lot. So things can just bleed for a long time. The last one, one was right here, which is Light Edge. So you increase damage by the most of those middle swipes, because you get like the one swipe and then swipe, and then one swipe. Usually, like say that's 100 damage on the first swipe, and the next ones are like 60 or something, and then the last one's 100 again. So that one would effectively go up by 8%, which is pretty cool. I like that. And yeah, that's the tree. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and definitely leave comments down below on what your thoughts are on this kind of build. I truly believe it's either you pick everything in here or you pick everything in here on this one. It's very straightforward, yet it's so complex at the same time. We're going to have a lot more videos coming out, so definitely give it a subscribe and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.